Okay, our last topic is on equations of circles. So if I want to graph a circle on like the coordinate plane, how do I write that equation? So to write the equation, you need two things. You need the coordinates of the center of the circle, and we know that's going to be in parentheses, two numbers. We know the first number is usually our x number. They're using the letter h to represent that. And then our second number is the y number, and they use k. And so that's the first thing we need is the center. The second thing we need is the length of the radius. So we know from the center to the edge of the circle. So what the equation looks like is down here. It's always going to look like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we know that h is coming from the x number of the coordinate. We know the k is coming from the y number in the coordinate, and the radius is, like, r is the radius, duh, okay? Just keep in mind, there are negative signs in the equation, so if you're plugging in a negative, like a double negative is going to turn this into a positive. So let's do some examples. Number one, given the center of the circle is this, and the radius is 3, what is the equation? So we're talking about a circle. So that means when I write my equation, I know it's going to look like this, and I'm leaving blanks where I'm supposed to put stuff. Okay? I just got to figure out, well, what is supposed to go here? So I know the first blank next to x is supposed to be the x number from my center. So that's going to be the 2. So I plug in a 2 next to x. The x number goes next to x. Okay? The y number goes next to y. Oops. There was a negative in the equation. Now when I plug in a negative, I've got to make sure it's going to be minus negative 5. And then my radius goes over here last. What was the radius? It was 3. Okay? At this step, you got to double check. Are there any double negatives that I need to change into a positive? The x is good. So we're going to leave the x alone. That's just going to be x minus 2 squared plus sign. The thing we need to check out, oh, is there a double negative here? Yes, minus negative. That's going to turn into a plus sign. So now this is y plus 5 squared. Equal sign, well, 3 squared, we can actually like figure out what is 3 squared. You could type this in the calculator, 3 to the 2 power. That turns into a 9. So final answer would be this, and this is what you would be typing in formative as your answer. You got to type all of this out. Okay, if you have questions about how to type it, make sure you send me a message. But the things you need to check out for, if there's a negative in your center, you got to change it to a plus sign like we did here. And you actually have to square the radius to put a number. I don't want to see number squared. I just want to see a number over there. Okay, the second example, writing the equation of the circle from the graph. So they're giving us a graph and they're saying, what is the equation of this graph? Well, I know equations of circles always look the same. X minus something squared, plus sign in the middle, always y minus something squared equals something squared. The two things I need to know are the center and the radius. So I'm going to find the center first. You can't find the radius without knowing where the center is. So I'm kind of looking, where is the middle of this circle? Where's the halfway point? You're kind of eyeballing it here. I can see this right here. That's going to be my center. Okay. So what are the coordinates of the center? We're going to write it down. I know the x number goes first. So the x number right here was negative 4, comma, the y number was positive 1. Okay. Now I'm going to check, what's my radius? Okay. So I'm going to draw in the radius. So from the center to the edge, I'm going to go straight along. Ooh, that's not straight, but straight along this edge right here. And I got to count how many spaces that is from the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So my radius is 5. Okay, you could draw it this way. You could draw it straight down, straight over, or straight up. Any of those, they all give you 5. because we're in the center. If you counted these and they were different numbers, then that means your center was not correct. So here we go. So for my center, I know the X number goes first and the Y number goes second. So in next to my X, I'm putting -4. So I have a minus -4. My Y number, I'm just putting a 1. And then my radius goes at the end. It is 5. I'm double checking in my coordinates. Were there any double negatives? Yes, right here is a double negative. So I need to change that to what? A plus sign. So now this is x plus 4 squared plus, was this a double negative? No, so that stays y minus 1 squared equals, I need to actually do what is 5 squared. Well, 5 to the 2 power, you would type that in decimals if you need to, but it is 25. And this is my final answer. Okay, it's pretty easy, just as long as you have the right setup, the right framework, you should be fine. Okay, so you can go ahead and start on the formative.